Good morning everyone. Well, it's not going to be much of a video today. I'm going to have to apologise. I'm off for a emergency first aid at work plus forestry course, top side of York. It's one thing I've got to do to be part of the syndicate that I'm on up in Scotland for deer control on a managed woodland. Basically, one of the things as a state you've got to have is the first aid at work with forestry. And mine needs renewing. I was supposed to do it with all the rest of the guys in a week or so's time, but I was already booked on a holiday to go to the Alps. Obviously, as everything's happened, that's got cancelled, but I'd already booked this other course to go and do, so I'm going to do that now. I'm not going to have camera on while I'm going to be there because I don't think it's fair for anybody else, so I'm going to be up there, get the course done, on my way back, and I'll probably have a chat with you again once I'm taking the dogs out tonight. So thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you in a bit. Right, I've got back from the first aid course. It was, I would say it was a good one. It was run by a guy who was ex-Marine, does a lot of mountain leader stuff and outdoor stuff like that. Quantum first aid, I think it is. I'll put the details below, whoever I went with. Kev, his name is, great bloke, and it was a decent enough course. But that one done for the next 3 years, so I'm alright for the time being. Right, I just want to go through. I've got a question from Gary Smith, and he was asking about the sling swivels. Now, he says he's had the misfortune over the last few years. Well, I don't know. I don't know exactly how long, but he's had the misfortune in time to have 2 sling swivels break, and he was asking how easy they are to change. Well, for me, not a massively difficult thing to do. So what I would do would be to cut off the thread, the stitching for this little section, and just take it off and re-sew it. It's not a massively big thing to do. Possible for somebody to do themselves if they really wanted to, but that's a way of changing it. Now, there are some other options as well that I can do, and I have made in the past. Right, so the first one would be this bit. So this one would be for rifles that have got sling swivels that are permanently attached to the rifle. I know there are some Kippelhouse which do have them on, and also the size of them as well. So I've got a couple of examples here. So I've got 2 slings, all leather, these ones, no webbing on them, so it's got all leather with the brass buckles on. So there we go. And the same again, still got the calf skin on the inside of them. But the top parts are obviously different. So these have been had the addition of having a buckle with a strap that goes over the top. So it's all stitched on, and this section here is where the sling swivel there we go would go. But for cleaning purposes, with a rifle that's got the sling swivel on permanently, it can be unbuckled, so it can be taken off. So 2 different versions. So that one's a 20mm, because some of the more continental rifles have a 20mm sling swivel. That one's got a 1-inch sling swivel, so like the American sort of, like maybe UK sort of style, possibly. We'd probably get it all from the States anyway. That one has had the buckle stitched with leather over the top of it. That one's plain, but that one mainly because there's a bit more room to play with, because this is only a 20mm swivel, so obviously I've got a 5mm extra. That's the 1-inch version, so 25mm, so I ain't got as much to play with, so I ain't put the leather on that one. So that's one way of doing it. So these ones can be taken off. It doesn't matter if you're using the you can have them on just a normal sling swivel and then attach that to the rifle. It's just that's another option for being able to take the sling swivel off the sling itself. Right, another option that I made was this one, where it's the buckled version, but this bit can be taken off. So these are what they call Chicago screws. So Chicago screws are like almost like a bolt. So there's a male and a female side, and I've got 3 of them on there, so you can see from the back. So the back part of the buckle section and the strap section are both attached to the main sling with Chicago screws. Some people didn't like them because there's a possibility of it knocking on someone and making a noise, which I understand. I mean, what I could do is actually put a leather backing onto that side, and then maybe have the screw section on the front. That might be an option. but obviously you've got to be able to tighten these up, so it would mean that the flathead sort of screw section would be on the top. But again, it's another option of doing it. That one, obviously, it's a sort of like a double option of taking it off. So you can take it off this section, or you can take the whole thing off altogether. The last one that I've got is where it's just a loop going over, and it's got the Chicago screws holding this section on altogether. So it's a possibility then that you can just undo the screws, take that back part of the strap off, put a new sling on the top of it, screw it, put it back on, screw it all back together. So that's the way that you can take the sling swivels off the sling. But like I say, there's better options. I would probably be that one where it's the buckle. I quite like those ones. Or the alternative, like I say, back to the original, where you've got this section stitched on, and all I have to do is just trim it out, swap the sling swivel over, and stitch it back on. Job sorted. However, I want to say, as another option, if you wanted a sling that's like this one, which is my newer version with the webbing strap on it, I can add the buckle version for the sling swivel onto the top. So that's going to be basically one of the custom options. So the main standard one is with a sling attached permanently, and I make all the slings myself, so basically any custom options that people want, I'm always able to discuss it, and that's putting the buckle on top of it is one of them. But I'll put a bit of a closer look on it, and then I'll get my sewing sorted, and I'm going to take the dogs out. So there we go. So I hope this answers your question, Gary. So that's the original with it stitched on, where it can be removed. That's one where it's a 1-inch strap for the largest sling swivels that can be removed by obviously disconnecting the buckle or opening the buckle. That's the same again. Where did I put? Oh, there we go. I knew I had it somewhere. So that's the 20mm version. So this strap slightly narrower, but I'm still using the same buckle, but then I've put the leather stitched around the edge of the buckle. And then the final option, where it's just one piece that is then connected with the Chicago screws, which can be taken off and put back on. Come on! So I finally managed to get out with dogs, which makes it a nice difference rather than... Mando, come here! I say it's a nice difference. Up! Towel, down, down. Try and get them to sit down while I'm talking to the camera is a nightmare. However, yeah, so it's been good to get out, do something a bit different, finally get out with dogs, which is always nice. Just to be able to have a wander. Got my ears in again, listening to the Fed by Farmers podcast with Cammy Wilson. I don't know if it's just because I'm listening to people that I would never really expect to listen to, which always makes it interesting, on a subject that I don't really know much about either. But I do listen to knife making ones occasionally when I can be bothered. And then field sports one. I do like my field sports podcast. Mando, up. But sometimes it feels like there's only like 12 guests and they just go around in circles. But I suppose it's difficult trying to get people on. It'd be nice to listen to people that's people that you don't know and see what their story is. That's probably a good thing for me. Just finding out what people will get on with, especially sort of like if they're in deer industry and they've managed to make it work and they do. What I would like to know about is how people have set up small chillers and made up little businesses or out like that by selling their own deer that they shoot. Because selling up to a game dealer or being able to just selling carcasses. I mean, I suppose if you're selling carcasses, it's all right. But I'm not saying that I'm any better at doing a podcast, because people that do make them, and especially when they're using their own time to be able to sort it, it's only the same as doing videos. It's a lot of effort in there, so I always appreciate people that put the effort in. That's always best thing, is effort. But anyway, I can't say that I'm going to do any better job myself, so it's either put up or shut up. But I'm going to get these two back, get some editing done, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Right, I'll see you later.